You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're driven.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back.
Now.
Miss March 7th, have you taken the time to consider my suggestion?
Your suggestion? Oh, wait. Which Miss Ting-Yoon are you again?
It's me! I'm the one who wants every Ting-Yoon to come together to form the Ting-Yoon Merchant Guild. How often do you get the chance to work with yourself? Just imagine how in sync we'll be with one another. We're bound to thrive and prosper. I know, we can't leave the dreamscape to trade with the outside world, so that's where you come in, Miss March 7th. Your wits surpass many others, making you the perfect person to handle liaison negotiations on our behalf.
I guess I can consider it. I hope everything goes smoothly for your guild. There. Now do you see what I mean, Mr. Yang?
There does appear to be an element of her talking to herself.
Hey, you better not be referring to the part about my wits surpassing many others.
Mr. Yang mentioned the Express's next voyage is to send a passenger back home. Could this lady be from the Xianzhou Alliance?
Yes, more specifically, the Xianzhou Luofu.
The Luofu? Didn't the Antimatter Legion launch an ambush on the Luofu some time ago? Was she one of the few survivors?
Quite the contrary. She might have been the person closest to the eye of the storm.
Looks like there's a lot more to this story.
Story for another time. As host of the Dreamscape, do you have any suggestions for fixing this problem?
I don't have much to go on now. Perhaps we should talk to the other Miss Tingyuns here.
That sounds nice. People never forget a personally prepared home-cooked meal. But then again, gifts should be lasting. What about a delightful new bouquet of flowers on the table each day? Wouldn't they do a better job at brightening up someone's day? That sounds like a good idea. If we really want to do this right, though, it's the thought behind the gift that truly matters. The more thought goes into the gift, the better the recipient feels it. She makes a valid point, too.
You sure have a way of not offending anyone.
These three Tingyuns don't look like they'll be reaching a conclusion anytime soon. We won't be able to get a word in.
So, what do you think, Sonny?
Let's try a different name, my dear friend.
Oh, don't we sound chummier that way? I took a leaf out of this Foxian girl's book.
The problem with Miss Tingyun is just as I suspected before. That prank shattered her into notes that are each a part of her. In other words, it means the Tingyuns we see here are all different aspects of her psyche.
Okay. You just made it sound a whole lot.
At any rate, this is a known occurrence across the dreamscape. Tuning could be the way to fix it. The only problem is that these Miss Tingyuns are too caught up in their own world. Is there one we can properly speak with?
One that we can speak with, but it may take me a while to identify her. This Miss Tingyun. Why do I feel like... Huh? You... I'll take you next time. Should...
Nah, I think she's perfectly fine on her own. The childlike innocence that adults have is a lot more resilient than you can...
Even if that's true. Huh? Yikes.
Oh, were you all looking for me? Oh, were you all looking for me?
Found her!
It's nothing special, really.
She ought to meet your one we can properly speak with
Worth a try. My lady, if I may, I wish...
before you start...
It is not my intention to provoke you. Perhaps, as assurance, we can have my friend here perform the task in my stead. One week has a higher mastery of the harmony than I do.
That is true.
If you still have concerns, you are also free to restrain me while...
There's no need for that.
Are you all right with this, Miss Ting?
I go as the wind blows.
Then kindly forgive our intrusion.
What the... Did any of you hear a voice just now?
A voice?
Never mind.
Look! It's working!
Never did I expect that every encounter with you would always be in moments of distress. Did I conduct myself improperly?
Miss Ting-Yun, you're finally back! You may be small, but you're pretty... Huh? What's...
It's nothing. Just a trivia.
What do you sense?
I should have let you handle it yourself. This girl is not as ordinary as she appears. I nearly died. Just now.
Don't be afraid.
What is this place?
No matter what you see, you only need to remember one thing. You're not alone.
Who am I? Is that where I came from? And where does this... That looks so familiar. Does she want to lead me somewhere?
The life support pod is ready. There were only minor issues.
That's great. Otherwise, that person from the Xianzhou might not be able to hold on much longer.
You're still trying. There's no precedent for saving someone who was destroyed by a Lord Ravager.
I'm not a genius, so I don't understand the logic behind it. But if she says it's possible...
Excuse me. This girl... Ting-Yun. What a familiar name.
Don't question it. Keep moving forward.
It's you again. Who's talking to me? These are
wounds left by the destruction. They have taken root within your body and cannot be removed.
The destruction? I don't understand. Please, who are you?
I can't go to you. All I can do is wait for you.
You want me to go through here? Do I?
There's no need for that. It's too dangerous. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Try to coexist with it. Think of it as feeling your own scars.
Wait! Is this called coexisting?
Don't worry. As I said before, you're not alone.
Until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live! Set the seas ablaze!
Let the show begin!
Fight to live!
Clouds scattered.
Dreams do come true.
How can it be? Why are there still so many of them? The ones from before weren't defeated either?
As I said before, you can't defeat them. No one can. You can fall into the darkness and die alongside these scars of the destruction. Or bring them with you when you return to the world here. These are your two choices.
Return to the world? What are you saying? Oh. No wonder those two ignored me. Am I just a wandering spirit now?
Close, but not quite.
So, I'm trapped between life and death? Existing in a limbo?
You can think of it that way.
Based on what you said, even if I should wake up, these wounds that caused my death will remain on my body and never heal? I don't understand. You appear to be trying to save me, Benefactor. But why are you telling me all this?
It's a habit of mine. I believe everyone should have the right to choose whether they wish to return to this world or not.
Be that as it may, I don't remember anything. There's nothing to help me make a choice.
That doesn't matter. I believe the desire to live was born from nothing to begin with. You may also prove yourself to be the exception. I would also be pleased with that result.
How troublesome. But I suppose that's part of living.
Survival or destruction is no longer a choice for you. They both now grow along the same path. And only by walking this path will you break through the darkness and arrive at my side. Feeling more awake? Congratulations. You attained your very first victory in this tug of war. It's a good start.
This is...
Let me explain. You were attacked by a Lord Ravager. By all rights, you should not have survived. But someone didn't agree with that assessment, and it just so happens I was able to fulfill his request.
What about the other merchants?
I don't know.
Why me?
Because you were the most unfortunate. You fell into the hands of that Lord Ravager, who destroyed your body and spirit. Yet, you were also the most fortunate. Her desire to claim everything about you for herself meant she needed time, so you were spared instant annihilation. There is only a fine line between resurrection and escaping death. Yet, they couldn't be more different. If you had truly died, I would have been powerless to do anything for you.
My body feels strange.
I'm sorry. I can't let you regain your ability to feel just yet. You'd be in excruciating pain. Your body was contaminated by the destruction and suffered severe damage. As I said before, these wounds will stay with you for the rest of your life. To prevent its resurgence, I made some minor modifications to your body. Or more specifically, your tail. You'll have to learn to adapt to it. Unfortunately, the inescapable price of survival is often more adversity.
Regardless, I'm grateful to you for saving my life.
There's no need for that. This was merely a transaction. With this, the debt between the traveling merchant and me is clear.
Who?
Don't worry about it. You should sleep for a little longer. By the time you wake up, you won't remember any of these details. I'll arrange for someone to send you home. Which reminds me, you seem to have some dependable friends with close ties to you. You should go with them. It can only help with your recovery to hear more about your past.
Are you all right?
Did I pass out?
The tuning rebounded and affected 1 week instead. This is no ordinary woman.
I suppose there's no point in hiding it from you anymore. Miss Tingyun is originally from the Feixiao. She had an unfortunate encounter with a Lord Ravager who robbed her of her identity and left her on the verge of death. While she miraculously escaped with her life, her body suffered terrible injuries beyond all power to heal.
But something happened to change that outcome?
Yes, a genius got involved. She's very accomplished in the field of life sciences and managed to grant Miss Tingyun a shot at survival. After that, she asked the Express to escort Miss Tingyun back home. We made a stop at Penacony along the way, partly to allow her some time to convalesce.
I'm so sorry. I thought no one would be affected if I hid inside a dream. I didn't expect so many mishaps to happen.
That's all right. So long as nobody was hurt. Can I get something to drink? I feel like I've been asleep for 10 years.
That's fine. We should find another place to talk anyway. We drew some attention with that commotion earlier.
So glad again. I'm a local, you know.
You'll have to make do.
In any case, I must thank the both of you for your assistance.
It was nothing. Now that the matter with Miss Ting-Yun is resolved, are we meeting your other two companions next?
There's no need for that. Mr. 1 Week is in poor condition, so let's wrap up your farewells first. I'll leave Miss Ting-Yun in your hands.
Huh? But, Mr. Yang, the messenger from the Xianzhou is almost here. You're not coming with us?
I trust that you can handle it. Besides, Himiko will be there. She'll be able to handle any decisions should you run into any difficulties.
Okay. We better hurry then. This is ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues? This is ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues?
Where are you, planning?
Could you give me some time to think about?
Shall we keep going then? Did you forget?
I'm not too familiar with this planet. I'm worried an unscrupulous cutthroat merchant will try to take advantage of me. Luckily, the people I want to buy these gifts for are friends you already know on the Xianzhou. So I'll be counting on both your stakeholders.
As if a merchant could.
I already picked up a few gifts earlier. So that means there's only 3 more left to go. But we've already lost a lot of time. So we'd better not drag our feet.
Welcome. How can I help?
Hello there. It's my first time visiting the Dreamscape, so I wanted to buy some local specialties as souvenirs for my friends back home. My 2 friends here are more familiar with the Dreamscape and recommended your shop.
Wow, you really know how to flatter. Go ahead.
First we have Lady...
Did you...
A meticulously thought out and interesting suggestion. Next is General Jingyu. Come to Clock Studios theme park to learn more about the history of the planet of festivity. Finally, we have Lady Bailu of the Alchemy Commission. You carry yourself with such dignity and grace, but you still have the heart of a child. Lady Bailu loves these types of accessories. Let's go with that's all of them. Please, thanks to both your help, everything went smoother than I expected. And it looks like we still have some time to spare.
Why don't we pay another visit to the Dreamscape sales store? You can find memory bubbles pretty much anywhere. But Penacony's dream bubbles are extraordinary.
A souvenir for myself. But there's one more thing I wish to do.
Everything you want.
This is a good spot.
Miss Ting Yoon? What's this about?
You've looked out for me during our travels together these past few days. I'm truly grateful and can't thank you enough. But there are some things I find difficult to forget. I feel it's only right that I tell you what's on my mind before we part ways. Do you too still remember what it was like when you first saw me?
How could we forget? He was so shocked. He was frozen in place when he shouted.
Exactly. And that's precisely why I haven't been able to shake off this strange feeling in the days since I started traveling with you. When I asked for your names, I couldn't help but think that this first encounter was actually a long-awaited reunion for you. I've heard about what happened to you on the Xianzhou. And I've got to admit that Fantilia's disguise was so perfect, it was like another me tricking every—
Yeah, we couldn't even tell when you were replaced by Fantilia. I figured it happened when we were after Kafka. You vanished for a while. I thought you must have come back as a double.
But it was much earlier than that. That thought has me filled with sorrow. As if a piece of my life had been stolen away, and I had no part in it. That's what I've been puzzled about, too. I never actually saw how Fantilia managed to disguise herself as me. What was your impression of that Tingyun, if you were— That's just the nature of the Foxians. It's widely known that mystery is the key to our allure. So, what did she seem like to you? I'll just assume that's a compliment. Maybe next time you could just say silver-tongued. Was there anything particularly memorable?
Now's not the time for those kinds of jokes.
Now the fight in your eyes, am I—
Wait, don't you find that question a bit weird?
Oh, Miss March, you might have the wrong idea. I'm—
Uh-huh?
As a merchant, staying well-informed is crucial. It's only natural for me to stay updated on the events of the Lawfu before— If I had rushed in and out back then, I wouldn't have been much help. Instead, I would have postponed the trip and sought assistance from allies.
We wouldn't have—
Exactly. Based on your description, that Lord Ravager was indeed cunning. Her demeanor mirrored mine so closely that it felt like she was living my life for a few days, rather than merely disguising herself. I regret missing out on your Xianzhou journey. But everything that unfolded afterward, aside from the scheming, played out exactly as if I'd been there. Fantilia had stolen a piece of my life, and a Foxian always gets even. I will not be taken advantage of. I must take something back from her as well. But after thinking it over, the only thing that could be considered equal value is the bond I have with all of you. That thought has brought me great comfort. And now I know how to speak to you properly. We've never even met before, and here you are, offering your help, just as before. I should have treated you with respect, but fear of Fantilia made me act like somebody else. And now, I will reclaim everything I have lost. and it should begin with a proper acknowledgement. Dear benefactors, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you. Looks like we're off to a good start. Moving forward, I'll definitely be trying more things like this from now on. And you, my dear benefactors, will be my source of courage.
Miss Ting-Yoon, that's way too over the top. Just don't make any risky decisions. It might overwhelm him.
We'll see. I just hope the Ting-Yoon in your memories won't be tainted by Phantilia anymore. All right, no more questions. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Let's continue on our way.
A dream about eons? Welcome to the Dreamscape Sandstorm. Dr. Edmund at your service.
We're looking for some dreams to give as gifts. Something...
Just a friendly reminder. Being too picky won't help you find the best dream. Just that being said, there are always some lucky exceptions. Not too long ago, I procured a dream bubble that sounds. The story unfolds in the Shenzhou Alliance, where a young swordmaster strives to become the sword champion. However, his junior Foxian sword, who just turned 100, puts him in a tough spot.
Why does that sound oddly familiar?
Since I'm returning to the Xianzhou, I think it's better to choose something unrelated to the Alliance. Feel free to pick a few for me.
I love customers like you. So easy to work with.
So easy to take advantage of, you mean? Just don't pick anything weird, okay?
Oh, speaking of dreamscapes, I have a gift for you, my benefactors. After troubling you all this time, I couldn't leave without properly expressing my thanks. Here's a dream bubble for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Wow. That's really nice of you.
Here are the dream bubbles I've prepared for you. Thank you for your business.
Well, it looks like everything's finally in order. I suppose it's time to head back?
Trailblazers from the Astral Express. Welcome to the Dreamscape City. A long time no see, Diamond. You must be here to experience those dreams. However, this Dreamscape, veteran gamers, call this type luckily. I just so happen to be an excellent doctor. Oh yes, I nearly forgot.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the Dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling the ending. In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. If we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Shipe the Harmony. Then, on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Ideen Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one Memo Keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter, that's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari, then suddenly assaulted him with a hammer. Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream. The murderer vanished in a flash.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle. Her best asset is transforming her appearance to...
Who are those two little guys?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle has left behind for you.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by are the weapon used by the assailant and the victim's ID. They didn't even take the weapon with them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us. Despicable.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dreamscape. Best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come first.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
Mr. Coldfeet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. Ahem. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to...
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim...
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer? Is that her real surname?
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle, to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be 1 murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on, wait.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help.
I've got the case file right here. Lady Black Swan, allow me. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was up. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how they...
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go?
That won't be necessary. I've memorized.
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Look, an ID cop.
Mr. Shimari's belong.
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy. This must be the...
Miss Sparkle also used it.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target.
Make a wish.
Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on? Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shimari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle. But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way. Discard your worthless destiny. Memories seem to be different again. What's this little device here for?
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't! That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will... Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second...
That sounds like... both?
Correct! Exactly this...
Oh.
Aren't you going to ask me why?
Okay.
Because...
This is nuts! What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll. Could it be connected to the case?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
This is so her style, isn't it? Doesn't look like there are any more clues.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
Who exactly is the murderer? Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer Residence's facial recognition system. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer. Make a wish.
So, who exactly is the murderer?
Lefton, that guy...
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer. That was easy. Let's tell the constable our...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan.
The murderer is Wright.
Babe! You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my memo keeper.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Become part of the family. Raise a glass and enjoy.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo! You finally made it! We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way? Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my...
Huh. The skit this time is...
Let's discuss this difficult case that...
Her again? Sparkle...
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store after a long time. There were 3 suspects on...
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more description. Miss Sparkle is so gracious. Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony...
You're too lazy.
Oh, for the laughter. If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy. Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over... Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. And first of all is the shopkeeper. Next up, finally, there is the guy. That's all the information we...
That won't be necessary. And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the
The tag on the tie.
That's not how you use...
Huh. There's an accounting book line.
On the...
This gen...
So, it's just...
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation?
What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then? A little stool that seems...
The footprints, which...
Perhaps it's just... What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This...
Somebody save me from...
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Have you dealt with many...
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine. They're the ones that usually belong to kind people.
This clock...
Open it up and take a look.
So there's a ring inside.
Because this ring was found inside the victim.
In the victim's mouth.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring.
That should be it.
Let's head out.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway,
Enjoy Clocky's Pizza. Every stick of the clock is a tasty one.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon.
pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black.
This guy is mixing up...
Then go ahead. Who is the killer?
In my opinion, there is no murderer for this case.
What do you mean by that?
this tie is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the Miss Sparkle stole after Miss Sparkle affixed the tie to her. What a tragedy!
Is something wrong here?
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd...
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
Ugh.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Why take it so seriously? Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience. Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Hmm.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Get your tickets for Robin's Life in the Song concert while they're hot.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or a child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the
A murder in a locked room?
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting. The butler, Zhongshan, said
As soon as I heard...
the room was covered in...
Thinking quickly, I grabbed...
Besides us and Zhongshan, the butler...
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the... Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation?
Wait
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
No
cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective.
No,
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting.
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up! Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troop. Nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. But what's that thing? A Bella Boggian trash can? In Penacony?
Hey! Dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet. You made it. I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. Alright. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs?
No murder case this time around.
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy.
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer is people, right?
Wah wah. Wrong answer. How could the correct answer is Sparkle? When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber-jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat. Wrong.
Share good fortunes.
Recalibrating.
Ill fate descends.
Until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live!
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere! Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle! How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from... Oh, I understand.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you?
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder. I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in 2 pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas. Like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me. That the murderer is the assistant detective. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom, using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's ding-a-ling. I won.
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady. I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish with one cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabug, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
What a special dream this has been. Did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape, it's as weird and captivating as being in a dream within a dream. That's the end of Miss Black Swan's. I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so by the cold, hard light of reality.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything Shouldn't you give my map?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting a green? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6.
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who...
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sampo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it... Why so serious?
believe it's time for Miss Ting Yoon to leave. I'm not ready to say goodbye just yet. Yeah, we got delayed on the way. Mr. Yang will explain in detail when he gets back. Has the messenger from the Xianzhou arrived yet?
Long time no see, everyone.
Madame Yukong?
I've imagined this moment many times. I was worried I might embarrass myself in front of you. I even rehearsed every word beforehand. But now it seems it was unnecessary. Ting Yoon, I'm here to take you home.
Madame Yukong, I wasn't expecting it to be you. What a wonderful surprise.
I wanted to come because, after all, it's you who's coming home.
Yeah, me of all people.
Your body. It's going to be tough from now on, isn't it?
I've already escaped death once. What more could I ask for? Also, it's not all bad. I might even beat you at arm wrestling now.
You're still the same, carefree as always. I have a lot I'd like to tell you, but I'll save it for the road. It's a long journey back to the Luofu. Even if we can't completely rid you of the pain, there must be ways to alleviate it on the Xianzhou.
I have no doubt. But since we're alone here, may I ask you one more thing? Do I really have to go back to the Luofu?
Why? You don't want to?
Despite Fantilia's ruthlessness, she spared me when I should have been eliminated. And why did Miss Ron Mei, who has no ties to the Xianzhou, go out of her way to save me? It seems as if I've become a pawn in someone else's game.
There are people within the Alliance who also believe that the suspect is now on the Yuchua.
If that's the case, it's all the more reason for me not to return to the Luofu and complicate things. I might as well take advantage of this situation.
Take advantage of the situation? What do you mean?
Right now, the marks of ruin inside me maintain a delicate balance. Moreover, they were created by Fantilia herself. If possible, please inform the General and arrange for me to meet with the Marshal. Maybe this body of mine can help the Alliance get one step closer to the Xianzhou's enemies.
When Ron Mei visited the Luofu earlier, she mentioned what happened to you. This coincided with when the message sent by the Astral Express arrived. The Arbiter Generals concluded that Fantilia did not intend for you to survive. If utilized strategically, this could give the Alliance an element of surprise. If we follow this plan, we must keep your resurrection hidden. But before making any decisions, I want to know what you think. If you wish to go home, I'll support you. no matter what others may say.
Then I'm glad. I shall save you the trouble of hearing what those people may say.
The road ahead is perilous. If you decide to take it, I won't stop you. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I still want to know. Are you choosing this because it's what you really want?
I've come to see myself clearly in this dream journey. Perhaps it's what people call a blessing in disguise. There is someone who can attest to my true intentions. Please follow me. She should be around here somewhere.
Is that...
After a strange encounter, I was fragmented into multiple Tingyuns, each embodying a different aspect of my memories. And one of them hasn't returned to me, because she ventured too far. Until now.
You mean her? What is she doing?
She's captivated by something that has deeply mesmerized me. As a fleeting emotion, she's no different from a newborn. Her boarding this ship was solely down to her inner impulse. Madame Yukong, do you remember? Perhaps that was just an ordinary flight for you, but for a certain child, that was her first experience with the sky.
Of course I remember. Back then, you were still young enough for me to carry.
You probably still can. Want to give it a try?
I'm afraid you'd be too heavy for me now.
Just kidding.
I remember you kept begging me to take you to the star skiff, and even dreamed of becoming a pilot. But once you were airborne, you were so nervous that you clung to others for dear life.
This flight was a turning point in my life. The boundless cosmos unfolded before me. I was completely mesmerized, not just by the view, but by a realization. In this world, there are paths beyond waiting for us to explore. Even though I lacked the talent to pilot the star skiff and wasn't much of a warrior, I still chose to travel around with the Merchant Guild. Even to this day, this thrill still courses through me.
That hasn't changed?
Never. Now I can embark once more on my journey as a traveler of no return, exploring the paths that lie beyond. Speaking of which, how are things with the Whistling Flames?
I've left Yan Ming in charge for now. He's reliable, but he can be a bit extreme, and might not always follow your principles as a traveling merchant.
My principles. Forsake what others fight for, and take what others abandon. That's the way to navigate the world and achieve my goals. I will continue to uphold my principles. But now I've also learned that while these merchant principles may apply to humans, they falter in the face of the gods.
But this shouldn't fall on your shoulders to begin with. You are simply an innocent survivor in this war.
Madame Yukong, you were once a survivor in the war too, weren't you? In a hazy dream, I vaguely remember someone telling me that the inescapable price of survival is often more adversity. But Madame Yukong, the gods use humans as pawns in their cosmic game, sacrificing countless innocent souls. Have you ever thought about making them pay?
Every moment of every day. But as inconsequential as we are, how can we escape the fate of being mere pawns? If I could choose, I would never want you to become a pawn. I just wish you could still be that carefree little fox, not caught up in this war.
Don't be disheartened, Madame Yukong. Thanks to the favor of the Lord Ravager, I've become a player in this game. Remember, it's often the unassuming pawns, the lone traveler, or the worm that subdues the dragon, that leave even the best strategists helpless. So, now I'll become a cunning speck of dust and make those masterminds behind the curtains sneeze a few times.
Is this place also affected by the Order?
No, I'm just here to bid farewell. I changed my mind along the way. This journey has too many variables. So it shouldn't matter if we add another.
How did you know she would be here?
I didn't. I had a hunch and decided to try my luck. It seems I can be lucky sometimes.
It's not like you to leave things to luck.
I'm trying to change too.
I don't think you need a bystander in this scenario. Go on ahead.
You're not worried I'll take the opportunity to escape?
I believe you're the kind of person that has the ability and desire to use everything to your advantage. But that everything does not include Miss Robin.
Thank you.
Now then, Mr. 1 Week.
I'm not leaving. No way.
Let him stay. He won't be in the way. I actually need 1 week to be there. She shouldn't be seen talking to a fugitive, no matter the circumstances.
You don't intend to reveal your true identity to her?
Both parties don't have to be aware that this is a farewell. I shouldn't put her at risk for my selfishness.
As you wish.
Shall we go then?
Let's go. Our journey can't begin if I can't take this first step. I didn't expect to see you here, Miss Robin.
My name is 1 Week. I'm a member of the Nightingale family.
You're too kind, Miss Robin. You must be very busy. What brings you here to Dream's Edge? Well, perhaps the dreamscape is not so different from reality. When we look up into the night sky, the stars aren't really there. The glimmering lights we see are merely the images of stars from long ago. So, have we ever truly seen a real sky full of stars? No. Today is my rest day. There's going to be a show later, so I came early to find a good seat. It's somewhere farther away. They say it's a farewell performance. The kind that's better to listen to from afar than watch it performed live. Miss Robin, may I stay here with you to gaze at the stars before the show begins? Still, these stars are unfamiliar to me. I don't recognize any of them, and it makes me feel uneasy. Perhaps it's both. The Stellaron disaster may not have had any real consequences, but many guests still chose to check out. Now the hotel feels quieter than before. It makes me wonder what Penacony's future will be like. I just hope it will not negatively affect you, Miss Robin. Did the person you wanted to say them to leave? Sometimes, what's in your heart doesn't need to be dressed up in words. Maybe he already knows what you wanted to say. If you don't mind me asking, who is it that you wish to encourage? There are many such people on Penacony. Failure is like the setting sun to a dream chaser. It's something that happens every day. I believe they all have the willpower to start anew. Especially after receiving a smile from you, Miss Robin. Are you saying that's not true? Failure may be a good thing for someone like that. Being able to reflect on one's actions is a valuable quality to have. Why is that? I hope so. A dream jigsaw. I see. I'll do my best. I'm still inexperienced, so let's just hope we get lucky. It seems we've been blessed with good fortune today. Another Dreamweaver probably left this behind. It's a habit for this profession. They hope to use these blessings as a foundation for the dreamscape. The second jigsaw piece. Is this a pair of wings or a decoration made of feathers? We should keep looking. It's done. Have a look.
Soon, I shall travel to those unfamiliar stars, none of which I recognize. But as long as you continue to gaze upon them from here, then those unfamiliar stars will one day be the place of our reunion.
That didn't seem like a perfect goodbye.
It's enough. I only meant to stay quietly by her side for a bit. But why did you do those unnecessary things?
What things?
Those 2 notes. If someone finds them, they can be used as evidence against her.
Huh. So you can do whatever you want as many times as you want, but I can't? I don't want to live with regret for the rest of my life either.
Live with regret?
We're almost done saying our goodbyes, right?
Yes. We only have one last stop. But before we leave, I have a question I'd like to ask you, Mr. Yang. I'm curious. Why did you become a Nameless?
Why the sudden interest?
I always had a feeling that you would never give up on someone who needed help. After spending time with you, I'm even more convinced of this assessment. At this very moment, there are countless worlds above the sky still waiting for the arrival of the Astral Express. Yet you and your companions have chosen to stay here. All for an old friend you never knew, and a notorious fugitive. To trailblaze means to forge ahead. Yet, you stop and spend precious time on people just passing by. All the while you believe this is the natural course of action?
That's not what I think at all. Besides, the watchmaker also made a similar choice.
And because of that, he bid farewell to the Express and never walked among the stars again in his lifetime.
Not all journeys lead to the stars. Even if we leave the Express, some trailblazing paths will still continue. You can think of it this way. The title of Nameless doesn't belong to any one person. Each individual will have their own view of what it means to walk this path and will always try their best, no matter the situation. The goal of my trailblazing is not the unknown world, but every living being who exists under the stars. In my homeland, the name Welt means world. It suggests that each person is a world unto themselves, and that we harbor as many possibilities as the distant stars. The connections I gain on my journey are what is most precious to me. This is my way of the trailblaze and the reason why I decided to stay here.
Why me?
Like I said before, I left my home in a hurry too. I know how you feel right now. I also know that a person will only be able to truly face themselves once they've decided to say goodbye to their past, the same way you're doing right here, right now. There was never a third person with us, was there?
I told you he'd find out.
I should have known nothing could escape your keen eyes. Since you already know 1 week's secret, there's no need for me to build up suspense. Let's go. We'll head straight for the finale and take our final bow in this farewell performance. I'm not done yet.
I know you can hide your appearance, but trespassing on restricted family grounds is...
Don't worry. I won't take too much time. I was a child when I first visited the Grand Theater. I remember seeing the light behind the curtains from here and believing it to be the morning star guiding me toward the land of the dreams. When I returned here many years later as the head of the Oak family, I finally learned that the light was actually a Stellaron.
Now that you've returned to the stage, what are you planning to do?
Prepare for my departure. I've always believed that a person's starting point should also be his last stop. Have you ever seen the elderly at the end of their lives? As they welcome their final moments, they invariably raise their hands, stretching their arms into the emptiness. Much like how babies also stretch their arms into the air when they are first born, humanity flaps their wings twice as they complete their journey. Once when they are born, and once when they die. In order to flap my own wings and soar again, I will say goodbye, here, to the me of yesterday. I really hate this face. My expressions feel so dull and lifeless.
I see. That explains why something always felt off about your appearance. The halo above your head that symbolizes the harmony, it's been missing since the moment we reunite.
It's true that this ring was bestowed upon our people by the heavens. But that doesn't mean it can't be thrown away. While I was in the gallery of thoughts, at the entrance of the dream, I chose to completely sever the halo from myself.
Why?
I am a fugitive, after all. I must remove any chance of being detected, but... another reason is... to feel pain. A pain like falling from the sky with broken wings that can keep me awake. This is how I can cast aside all the blessings of the harmony and the order and, for the first time in my life, enter the sweet dream as an ordinary person.
Is that also how Mr. One Week came into this world?
No. You wouldn't believe the real story even if he was born from an accident. One that you're actually quite... It was that try not to laugh challenge. Quite embarrassing, to be honest. I was roaming around as an ordinary person when I unfortunately fell into that Pepeshi's trap. The prank that fragmented Miss Ting-Yun also divided my... fragiles.
Are you saying that he's a part of you? That's quite surprising, given that you two look nothing.
You could say he's another possibility of... I too was once a child, with aspirations buried deep within. Over time, though, maybe if I had made a small change in my childhood, I would have turned out to be exact... What a pity. Failing to become a better version of yourself. So, and this also means that 1 week will vanish for good. Is there a possibility that you will be the one who... No. This is a foregone, but who's to say there won't be any changes? Maybe deep down,
Regardless of the outcome, you will have a witness. I'll be waiting for you in the audience.
Much appreciated. Now, shall we? Anticipating this possibility, you've really changed. In the past, you wouldn't have tolerated any noise at all. I'm about to embark on an unknown journey, where it will be impossible to maintain my orderly life. I will have to navigate unexpected surprise. You're not ready at all, are you? I feel unsettled, maybe even scared. Ever since I left Penacony, I could no longer control everything. Don't flatter yourself. You can't control anything. But isn't that how it is for most people? My fear of the unknown may be a weakness, but your presence has shown me that surprises aren't always bad. Meeting you has been a great help to me, and I'm glad to have discovered this side of myself. I also feel grateful for the opportunity to tell you this in person. I truly dislike you. What? Are you sure you didn't mean the— I must admit, many of your qualities strike a chord with me. There are times when I want to joke around, freely express my thoughts, or my fondness. I want to tell her that I love all her songs. Then go for it, Sonny. You always talk about locking the bird in the cage, but you're the one who's trapped. Look at yourself. Besides discipline and hesitation, there's nothing else in your life. If you continue living like a slab of marble, you'll break into pieces when you fall. But I won't become like you. I dislike people who are frivolous. It makes me uncomfortable to even emulate them. If I fail, I will still uphold my principles, such as decorum and stateliness. As for the harmony, my stance remains the same. Whether it's you or the paths, if what I once doubted, or even opposed, becomes the force I must rely on in the future, then this time, my true heart will guide the tuning. I'll leave it to you. What is this? Leaving your fate entirely up to a— This isn't like you at all. Did you lose your mind after being run over by the Express? Or were you possessed by that IPC gambler? Failure is always the best teacher. To save more lives, you must first understand what they live for and what they die for. The best way to achieve this is through personal experience. You see? I'm already starting to make changes. Whether it's us merging or one of us disappearing, I'll leave the tuning to fate, and see if I can embrace all that I detest. Only then will I truly be able to walk among the living, in their world. But what if you can't do it? Well, that's out of my hands. It will just prove that I'm still the same person. The person who always disappoints his sister. Falling is just another name for flying. That's why I rejoice at my broken wings. Step into the mortal world, to see how it truly is. Then, be born as a human, and die as one. And with my last breath, I'll join the weak in reaching my hands toward the sky. On the planet of festivities, whatever identities I once had, they no longer matter. It's not the gods who answer us, but ourselves from the future. I don't have much to say, but as it's time to part ways, here's one last piece of advice. When telling jokes, be sincere. Don't sweat the details, and above all, don't explain them every time. Never mind. Maybe it's better for you not to joke at all. No objections from me. This is so annoying. How did I become so dull? Well, despite everything, try not to be too hard on yourself. There will always be people who are sad. Planet of festivities, land of the dreams. I say goodbye to my home. Should one desire to leave the stage for good,
One must first step back onto the stage!
as expected, the trickiest thing is tuning yourself. These dissonant sounds are much too harsh.
Shall we unite our goals?
Attack!
Noisy. The mood is set just right. Let the show begin!
Like fireflies to a flame, I will fight for myself until everything burns to ashes! Live to fight! Fight you!
Disorderly noise!
I shall set the seas ablaze!
Echoes of the past. You need not fade away. Follow me. To the stars!
Let's kick things off with you!
Have we met before? Clouds are easily scattered. Dreams of a past life are now all. Though life is as a speck of dust, it dances still in grace.
Disorderly noise!
Live to fight! Fight you!
A symphony of wishes!
Still the same.
All things are part of the melody!
Still the same one.
I won't hold back anymore.
Firefly, type 4, in position. I shall set the seas ablaze!
Time has come. Let it be revealed. Is it inevitable for me?
Live to fight! Fight you!
The mood is set just right. Let the show begin!
stay in step. Let's improvise.
You've arrived, huh? Step up, let's see ya.
Have we met before? There's no harm in sharing good fortune.
Joining the battle. Executing attack. Noisy.
Confidence.
Uphold the truth, and you will protect.
Take your positions. Dreams do come true.
Shall we unite our goals?
Detonate disorderly noise. The noise is fading. Wait for good tidings.
Let's improvise. The mood is set just right. Let the show begin!
Like fireflies to a flame. Life, I will fight for myself. Until everything burns to ashes! This is more than a battle. I shall set the sea ablaze! Live to fight! Fight to live!
Nice like a good brew. Full-bodied, my friends. Indulge yourself.
The long dream has vanished. Dreams of a past life are now all gone. Though life is as a speck of dust, it dances still in grace.
Disorderly noise.
Day, I grant myself departure.
Well, how should I address you now? Mr. Sunday or Mr. 1 Week?
Whichever you prefer. He's probably mocking me from inside right now. Thank you for accompanying me through all this, Mr. Yang. This farewell journey has come to an end.
What are your plans after leaving Penacony?
At this point, there's no need to hide things from you. I believe there's more to the incident involving the Stellaron on Penacony.
Are you suggesting that the Dream Master wasn't the one
Don't worry. The Oak family was indeed behind seizing the Stellaron, and resurrecting the fallen Eon during the Charmony Festival, and you've already defeated them. But Mr. Gopherwood once told me that all the Order's efforts were aimed at avoiding the same mistakes that the Harmony made. My guess is that the family from the Montour system must be involved. Unfortunately, too much time has passed to verify that. Penacony is just a small territory, and even the family heads with their authority cannot enter the sacred site of the Harmony and inquire about the true will of the Great One. In the worst-case scenario, if Xipe turned a blind eye, how could the strong defending the weak hold up? Mr. Yang, I just want to tell you this. The Harmony has more than one side. They can be the most steadfast ally of the Astral Express, or the most fearsome enemy.
Well, thank you for being honest with me. The efforts of the crew on Penacony were driven by the same concern. After all this, the Harmony and the Preservation will keep the situation on the planet of festivities in balance. With the momentum from the Trailblaze, more forces will arrive and Penacony will become a public space in the cosmos. Freedom is the only answer the Nameless can offer. I'm glad that
You and I both strive for a peaceful society, even if our reasons are different. And you've gone even further than I have. If not for our paths, perhaps you and I wouldn't be in opposition.
Don't sell yourself short. We're not fundamentally opposed. Otherwise, you wouldn't have shown me mercy in front of the Dream Master. This shared journey is my way of repaying you. You are one of my trailblazing goals.
About that, you've given me many insights as well. Humans are the measure of everything, and no one is the sole savior. Creating a paradise remains one of my lifelong ambitions. As I move forward, I realize I must build it brick by brick. Therefore, I have a request that I hope you'll consider. While I lack the will to trailblaze, nor can I become a true Nameless, I admire your convictions. Perhaps what I need, more than asceticism, is knowledge. Therefore, after leaving Penacony, would you consider letting me come aboard the Astral Express and travel with you for now?
So this is why I brought him here. Mr. Sunday wants to join us on the Express. Of course, I can't make that decision alone.
I learned the most valuable lessons from my past opponents. Please, say whatever's on your mind.
Well, you did get nerfed after turning into a good guy. So I guess I'm okay too.
Thank you all for your forgiveness. Perhaps I'll find the answer I'm looking for on this journey. And when that day comes, it'll be farewell. Until then, rest assured that I will do my best to fulfill my duty as your companion.
Now that our business on Penacony is settled, it's about time we get back on track and prepare for our next warp jump. Try?
No, we're still not quite there. Indeed, this is only a minor ripple that no one will ever notice. So, you must also understand, for a genius, the importance of asking questions outweighs the importance of the answers themselves. So-called magic has its own set of principles. There are no mysteries in this universe that cannot be solved. So, all-seeing presence, I ask you this. What is divinity?
It's still early. Where to now?
Wake up from the dream. If I...
It's still early. Where to now?
Watch your step now.
No holding. Unite our goals.
Attack! Until everything burns to ashes! Every victory is hard won.
let me stay here a little longer in this body.
Bad things happen to good people. None of us were ever really born equal. Only one life, there ain't no sequel. Some people live, others stay fearful. This world ain't never been peaceful. You got good, always butting heads against evil. The good try to be fair, but the bad lethal. They gon' fight dirty, every single one deceitful.
Stand up, I wanna see your face. Get your chin up like you belong in this place. We gon' train like you've never trained before. You're going up against something that you can't ignore. This ain't a game, this your life that we're playing with. There ain't no reset button or an off switch. You gotta face your fears, you gotta scratch the itch. You gotta break through the walls and get after it.
Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying. Cause
I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side or by yourself. I got this, there ain't no going back. Leave it all on the battlefield, push the attack. You can't stop me, I'm obsessive. A lot of people think that I come off aggressive, but I'm just passionate. Why aren't you? Ain't nobody care if you got nothing to lose. You gotta put yourself on the line, make moves. Otherwise you'll be a sheep with the lions watching you.
only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying. Cause
I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side or by yourself.
today is the day, don't waste any time. No, it's time to make a change. Up in your mind, rearrange. Start thinking you're the hero headed out on your way. There's gonna be good times and bad times. That's alright, just stay on the line. Cause in life we all got a different mission, but the good guy always wins, that's a given. If you stay committed, you stay driven, you'll be looking down the barrel of completing your mission. Ignition, light the flame, get the fire and you listen. Take these words deep, cause this is real, ain't no fiction. You don't need drugs, help, any prescription. Just persistence and energy can win any competition. So keep fighting, facing any opposition, and be the hero in a story you yourself have written.
Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side or by yourself.